Welcome back to Delta Green on Myth Machine, because it rhymes. That's not why we're playing this, but we can pretend it is. And this show is rated R because this is a game of slow degeneration, sometimes fast, of a character's physical and mental state as they experience horrors that humans were never meant to have to confront. But they are members of Delta Green, so they are the thin green line between the things that go bump in the night and regular people. Someone has to risk their life to preserve the world from monsters. And these are the noble heroes that do it, right? You're all very noble, aren't you?
Depends on your definition of noble.
Let's
Yeah, I
go with
mean,
it.
I don't think Sarah has all her valence electrons.
We're being generous here. Anyway, beware that there will be cosmic horrors here, body horrors, blood, viscera, psychological terrors, all sorts of interesting trauma. Who is Z-Cell? Please, everyone, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Briar and I'm playing Dr. Alex Blair.
Hey, I'm Coach. I'll be playing Agent Adrian Wallace.
I'm Chorus, I'm playing Jareth Gwyn.
Okay, sorry. I'm Harper. I'm playing Sarah Driston.
That was you switched surnames and thought that I didn't notice, and I did. Yeah. Sometimes they play tricks on me, my players, because funsies. Z-Cell has been called by A-Cell, obviously, to the mountains, the forested mountains of Vermont. At least it's summer, right? At least it's June. So it's not February when you're all covered in deep snow. So that's a good thing, right? Instead, you're covered in mosquitoes. I'm pretty sure they're out now, or they will be soon. After a restless night at the remote shack of the local woodsman Old Thomas, Z-Cell had prepared for their ascent of Owlshead Mountain to investigate this place where two surveyors working for a company surveying the lands to create a ski resort, apparently. These two surveyors have disappeared. Agent Irene departed to seek out the uncooperative Deputy Fitzgerald, leaving the team in the care of Old Thomas. Also, she seemed very uncomfortable with the idea of going up on the mountain, though she's never been up on Owlshead. Concerned for their safety in the disorienting woods, the elderly but capable woodsman decided to guide you. Despite his own 50-year-old fear of Owlshead, he has been up on Owlshead. But when he went up there last time, he saw winged ones, and there's a reason why he hasn't gone back in 50 years. It was a challenging hike. Apparently, these agents are not accustomed to going out of the office. You stumbled and struggled, much to old Thomas's quiet dismay. The forest itself seemed to resist your progress, with paths twisting away from your destination in a pervasive, unsettling quiet. During a lunch break, Gwyn's backpack had vanished without a trace. Your conclusion was that you were being followed by an unseen entity. The journey grew more perilous when a massive tree suddenly fell, narrowly missing Phallus but pinning Morrigan and injuring Blair. Took about an hour to free her, and you found evidence that the tree had not fallen naturally. Pressing on, you finally reach your destination, a clearing with a ring of ancient black basalt stones, standing in a ring stones, in fact. and Dristan discovered a large bare footprint suggested that the surveyors they sought might have been here, or at least some human. As you debated your next move, Fala spotted a hairy man-like figure watching them from the edge of the woods. The figure fled, Phallus gave chase with Tristan close behind, but the man moved with uncanny agility and escaped. So you started your descent, but the feeling of being watched persisted. And Morgan spotted the figure again and bolted after it without telling anyone else in the team, Phallus in pursuit as well. You managed to corner the man. Morgan was attacked with a hatchet, Phallus intervened, and in the ensuing struggle, he shot and killed the pursuer with a single blast from the shotgun, which was a critical success and did maximum possible damage. That's 32 hit points for those of you following at home. The man was filthy, hairy, and naked, armed with a hatchet and a knife in a rope around his waist, leaving you to wonder if they had just killed a lost surveyor or something else entirely. So that is where we're picking up this scene, with this wild man from the woods lying in a pool of his own blood and viscera. Like, there is 32 points of damage. There's a big hole in his torso. You might have scattered his heart somewhere. Who knows, Phallus? And all the rest of you, Blair, Tristan, Gwyn, you saw Morgan and Phallus run into the woods, and you heard the shot. And that's the last thing you know of what happened. So what are we doing now?
I
We should probably go after them.
But what if the woods is making us think that? What if the woods got them?
I say we stay here and wait for them to approach. If it's what I think it is, which I'm hoping it's not, that shotgun shell is only gonna piss it off. So we wait until they come back. At least that's my opinion.
Same here.
Old Thomas holds his rifle. He's right now looking through the scope, looking outside the scope, looking around behind you, like checking everything, head on a swivel. He's very concerned with trying to protect you up here, which is weirdly sweet in the situation, given that he is 80 something and you're all in the prime of your life. But he's trying to protect you. Phallus, Morgan, you have the incredibly dead body of this wild man lying in front of you. His eyes, just that broken, fixed stare up into the canopy of the forest. Arms and legs just ragdolled out somewhere. What are you doing? Morgan? Anything? Phallus? The forest got them, you guys.
I can't believe they're dead.
Yep.
Oh,
Immediately.
the forest!
The forest was a mimic. It ate them.
I think
Yep.
it just got Morgan's mic.
Oh no.
What about Phallus? Did he go AFK? I have no idea.
Oh, I didn't realize I was muted.
Oh, there we go.
Now, oh thank God.
We can hear
So
you.
crazy. I was the one that was missing. That's crazy. Yeah, so I look at
Anyways,
Morgan
yeah, I
and I
pulled his
go,
body.
I look at Morgan, I go, fuck. I think he broke my rib.
Oh. You need to see a doctor for that then.
Maybe.
Bruised it for sure.
Shit, that's
You
not
have
how
to
I was.
attach it.
That's not how I was
Attach it
expecting
somewhere.
this to go down.
You just
I guess I'll go
killed a
ahead.
man, fellas.
I just defended my life and my partner, who just ran off into the woods. I'm a goddamn hero.
Well, like, he was going to get away. I didn't want that to happen.
Don't worry, he didn't. We got him.
Went to call his wild men friends. Come jump us. So, I did y'all a favor.
I agree. So you said you picked up the
Oh,
hatchet?
it's so gross. Yeah, I did.
I'm not super concerned about the knife on the belt. Let's probably get back down to the group. Don't necessarily want to leave this here, but we should probably get some more manpower up here. Have some people watch our back so we can figure out what to do with it.
Sounds to me like fellas
Check in
is
with the
going
others.
back to the others. Is Morgan doing that too?
I'm gonna stay here and poke the dead body to make sure it doesn't come back to life.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are we poking the dead body exactly? Just out
With
of
a
curiosity, for no reason at all.
With a stick.
With a stick, okay. Poke, poke.
Should be a lot of those around here.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot of those around here. You are
I'm not-
poking the dead body with a stick, and it is not moving at all. Fellas, you're coming down the slope here towards the rest of the group, and I'm thinking they can hear you before they can see you, possibly because of the crackling underbrush.
What if I roll a stealth to sneak up on the party?
Why, you are welcome to if you want to. It's your... And then you get shot in the head when everybody just panics and turns and shoots without asking questions. I don't know.
Whoa, who are these agents? I've got Cornwell, Kamarov, Kurtz. Who are these guys?
Yeah. Tristan, Gwyn, Blair. Phallus is coming back. Alone.
Tristan seems like he has like the gun in his hands, like he's ready to point it at him. He's, what was it?
My
So,
gun is
yeah.
pointed at you.
Wait
Oh.
a minute, you're actually stealthing?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Motherfucker!
Oh.
Okay.
No!
As it turns out, old Thomas will spot you. Ah,
Do we all roll?
that's looks all right. Mr. Xander is coming down, says old Thomas.
Yeah, I'm trying to move quiet despite the gunshot, but once I get in like visible range,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go all the way down to him, but I'm gonna get to where I'm like just visible, and I'm gonna gesture them to come over this way.
All right, he wants to come along. Yeah.
No. No. Why was he hiding in the woods?
I wasn't hiding; I was just moving quietly.
Same thing. What's your brother's name?
Alex. Wait, do you know I have a brother?
Fine. No, sorry, I'm just thinking. If I saw somebody just poke their head out of the woods, I don't think I'd trust them.
I'm not being weird. I'm just trying to move quiet. There's freaky stuff going on out here, obviously.
You're trying to sneak around the creepy woods after we just heard a gunshot and you're returning alone.
Yeah, Morgan's okay. Come on, hurry up. We gotta hide a
Sounds
body.
to me
Morgan.
like there's going to be a group of 4 agents and a friendly walking up towards Morgan and the dead body, and everybody is going to be very much on edge and watching the woods around you very carefully. That's what it sounds
I'm gonna say, until I see the dead body, my eyes are trained on Phallus like a hawk, and my gun is almost in position.
Then yeah, I'm gonna be like, don't worry, she's up the hill, and I'll point the way up, and I'll make sure that I'm covering the rear, so nobody sneaks up on us.
No,
I am
you.
hunched
No,
over
you
this body,
bro.
bro.
You are
Poking it with a
not go.
stick. Cryptid.
Okay, if
You
everyone's gonna
walk
be weird about
ahead.
it, I'll lead the way.
Hey. I'm just hunched over this body, man.
Everybody is weird about it, apparently. Alright, so slowly but surely, you're gonna get back up to Morrigan, and you're going to see a horribly mutilated body. Which in this case. Oh, look at that! Tristan is actually not adapted to violence yet. Isn't that interesting?
Legendary.
Yeah. After everything he has been through, he's not adapted to violence yet. We'll fix that, won't we?
Sanity check.
Yes. So, we find a mutilated corpse. Roll
Not
a
either.
sanity check. There we go. You succeed. You know what that means? No sanity loss for this one.
Woohoo!
Which also means that you don't get another check mark on that. Gwyn is also not adapted to violence, so please roll a sanity check.
Hey.
Dang.
Success!
Nice dice.
Even though she's that level of tired.
Those biology labs are really something.
Very so. Yes, absolutely. That's what they are. It turns out that old Thomas is the one who freaks out overseeing this. Jesus.
Yeah, and be just
Fucking Christ. Oh
Casually.
my god. He just, yeah, he's
looking at
just
space.
freezing for a moment, just looking really pale. What?
I'll lift up my shirt and show him the bruise from where I got punched. I'll be like, he was coming right for me.
Oh, jeez. He's just gonna cross
was going
himself
to
a
ask
couple of
him
times.
questions.
Oh. What did you do?
maybe we should.
He was going for Morgan with the hatchet, and Morgan was able to disarm him. And I tried to restrain him, and he about fucked me up really bad. And so I defended myself a little bit more effectively than I expected.
Huh.
Oh god.
Attach it. Mine now.
Dristan, Blair, Gwyn, you can now clearly see the dead body
Oh.
lying there on the forest floor. His blood caking among
I'm still
all
hunched
the
over it.
pine needles on the ground. He is completely butt naked. Looks to be in his 30s or so. But it's hard to tell because even though he is butt naked, there are very few patches of bare skin on him because he's absolutely caked in mud and dirt that has just rubbed into his skin over years and years of being outdoors. And
So probably not a survey.
Not taking a shower either.
it would take a lot of
taking a
work to
bath.
get that level of dirty, even over a month or so. How people like who stay outdoors, who don't maybe have homes and such, and they stay a long time outdoors and they don't have washing facilities, and so it just really, they have to go through a very thorough scrub to get rid of everything. And I think this guy would need some of that too. His hair is a mat of knotted red strands, and there is a knife and a simple sort of rope belt knotted around his waist. And then, of course, there's that big hole in his chest where the shotgun hit him full force. And it goes into his chest
That
and
was
out the other
right-handed.
side. There is a lot of
Good
blood
job.
on the ground and probably some internal organs on the ground behind him, too. Just guessing from the gunshot wound.
I'll point at the hole and I'll be like, that's where I hit him.
That's where he hit him.
Oh.
I look at
Got
Morgan to
it.
back me up. Like,
You got him good.
Phallus has a pretty nasty bruise there, Blair.
Alright. That's first aid, right?
It is indeed.
This dude was like an Olympic level athlete,
Oh,
if nothing else. Did you see how fast he was moving?
He was moving fast. Look at that.
How
Healing.
well fed does he look? Does he look super wiry and scrawny, or does he look like he's like doing well for himself?
So, double the amount healed. Roll a d4 times 2, Blair.
Okay.
What was that, Fells?
Does he look super wiry and scrawny, or does he have a little bit of fat on him? Does he look like he's doing well for being an outdoor survivalist?
Okay.
Yeah, he looks decent.
do you
Short,
think we could get this dude
5
back
foot
to a
something.
lab for an autopsy?
So, that was a 3 times 2, as it were. Yeah, but that's okay. You are
Oh.
fully healed, Mr. Fallas, because Dr. Blair brought Voltaren ointment and probably a couple of good Tylenol 3s, and also one of those cold and warm packs to wrap around your chest. And in a matter of a few minutes, the pain is just going to dissolve itself. The muscles will relax and unknot themselves, and it's going to turn out that it was a nastier bruise, but it was more of a bruise than anything broken, luckily. So, yeah, pinched a nerve probably when he hit you, rather than actually break a rib.
Nice. Thanks, Dr. B.
Yep.
While Blair is attending to Phalos, what does Gwyn and Dristan and Morrigan want to do?
Tristan just looks relieved that it wasn't originally what he thought it was, so he's just taking a moment to actually just breathe and relax.
Can I try to examine the body?
Sure. How do you want to try to examine the body?
Take a good look at it and see if anything's wrong aside from the blatantly obvious hole in the chest.
Very well.
Where's your problem?
I know what's wrong
Yeah.
with
How
it.
do you know
Ain't
I'm
got no
still
gas
poking
in
the
it.
body with a stick?
What the,
I've not
what
stopped.
happened? Is that biology? I'm guessing?
You can use biology, yeah, why not?
Or surgery? What?
Probably
What
forensics,
does-
maybe.
Surgery would probably require you to have an actual knife and go into his body, like, that way. But
Surely
why
one of
don't we
us has
go
a
with a
hunting knife.
biology check for now?
I mean, I
fix
have,
it.
I have a
Does someone
couple
have a
of
hunting knife?
I have knives.
You're
Hey,
gonna
there's one attached to
dissect
his
him out
belt.
here?
I don't have a lab near me, and I'm not hauling this bitch down the mountain.
He's already open. We may as well.
He's got a knife
Yeah,
attached to his
exactly.
belt. Just use that.
He is pretty open, isn't he?
Actually,
Yeah.
can I throw back to the introduction
You
where
just
everybody
use
was
your
really
thingies and
confused
dig
when I said
around in there.
I could get in a computer or a door or a chest cavity? Here's your explanation for that one.
Yep.
Give me a knife.
How sharp does the one on his belt look?
Oh, it's decently maintained, absolutely.
That's fine now.
There you go.
Apparently.
Comes with his own dissection kit.
I guess I will. If we're gonna be here for a minute, I will set up like
Why'd
a
you roll
lock
surgery,
situation.
of all the things?
Because I was using a knife to cut him open to take a gander.
Okay.
Cut his face off.
That's a bit gross in front of everyone. I
It's not
have
that
a
bad.
feeling that old Tom will be like, Jesus Christ, and turn around. Is that necessary?
We can't really get him down the mountain, and I can't tell what's wrong with him if he's still closed up. Mostly.
What do you mean wrong with him? There's a big hole in his chest, says old Tom.
There's a bigger
What
one in his back.
Yeah. There really is.
Was he supernatural? Things like that. Does he look like a human?
Yeah, he looks like a human to you. It's because you have a failure here. I'm not going to give you any details. He looks like a human, but everything is a bloody mess. Nothing is where it should be because he has been shot in the torso with a shotgun from very close range, and everything is torn up inside.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Sarah's a bit more used to like fetal pigs and
Yeah.
cadavers, not
Yeah.
this.
Not whatever this is. It's a
Yeah.
right royal mess. And where is his gallbladder? Oh, it's probably lying outside somewhere on the ground, shredded. That kind of thing. So it's going to be a little bit confusing for you as you're trying to look in here. I'm going to assume that as a good FBI agent, you've brought with you plastic gloves and everything so you don't have to poke around with your actual fingers. But this is definitely not ideal conditions here. And and also you're very tired from the hike, so that could explain why you're not gaining much information from this at the moment. Also, he's so dirty. So very dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna remember not to ask Phallus to ever prep a cadaver for me. Ever.
There is one thing, though, as you're touching him, because you have to touch him, go in there with your knife. His skin.
It's still there, right?
Oh, yeah, obviously.
So his skin is okay, still there. Got it.
I don't
I
like
just
that.
sent you a little thing.
No.
Ugh. No. Oh god.
Blair, you will, as you're done now wrapping up Phallus's torso and so on, you can see Gwyn is sitting next to the dead body and she's starting to say no.
Are you
Where's-
okay?
Feel him.
Well-
Feel his touches. His skin. It feels so wrong.
Blair's gonna
I'd
head
rather-
over
Wear
and
gloves.
put on
Wear
gloves
gloves.
and touch it.
Why don't we have Gwyn roll a sanity check for reasons? You're fine, it just seems. Yeah, you're fine. You're just.
Ugh.
This is
Ah,
just.
it
Yeah.
feels like an elephant. Ugh.
Blair, how do you want to examine this body now that Gwyn has caught your attention?
Blair's just gonna put on some gloves and just feel the skin.
She's not wrong. When you get through the dirt, if you will, I'm sure you have water bottles and possibly in your doctor's bag some medicinal alcohol and solvents that can get rid of at least some of the dirt. You make a hole in the dirt too. But yeah, it's true. His skin is much tougher than it has any right to be on a human being. Roll a sanity check, please, Agent Blair.
Oh, thank God.
You've seen worse in your life, apparently.
Gross.
If I go over to him, does he look malnourished at all? Like, more than he should be for how long he's been out here? Does his limbs look wrong in any way that I would recognize?
Let's see what kind of skill set Tristan can bring to the pathological table here.
I'm mainly asking for the story that he has. The one beast he encountered.
Who encountered?
Tristan encountered the
Oh,
first
right,
beast he
yeah.
ever encountered.
Difficult to compare, honestly, between this guy and what you remember, and you'll have to rely on memory. Just
Oh,
no particular similarities that you can tell. This guy is well nourished enough, but you don't really have much of an expertise in medical issues. Hard to tell. I
Is
could allow
there-
you, Blair. Let's see now. Since you're looking over him here, which is what I guess you're doing, right, Blair? All right. Okay. Let's go with this. I'm just putting down some notes here.
oh no. Ew.
Why don't you roll another sanity check, Blair?
Oh no. Oh thank God.
You're fine so far.
Oh. Claire's not gonna say anything, but she's clearly looking at his skull a lot more. His forehead, to be exact.
I'm going to focus more on keeping an eye out, making sure nobody's trying to sneak up on us.
Makes sense. Morgan,
See if I can get old Thomas to help me out. He doesn't
every
seem
once in a
to.
while poking the dead body just in case. Because why not?
No, with these things. Just
Old
that.
Thomas is agreeing with you to look around and see if anyone else is coming or anything else is coming.
Might be more of these guys.
I will be sure to occasionally look up as well. Kind of keep an eye on the canopy.
Right. Yeah, Thomas's head is on a swivel, and he keeps looking through the scope on his rifle to get a better look on objects far away, just in case. But yeah, he's very worried. Any conclusions yet, team?
Vague
Weird.
idea, but inconclusive at the moment.
So what, he's got freaky skin? Anything else?
Can anyone smell anything off of him? Because he doesn't smell like anything to me. Despite how much dirt he's caked in.
Now that she mentions it, he does. You get the pine cone, you get the mud and all that. No body
OBO.
odor at all. No sweat. No. A person who looks like this, who probably haven't washed for a couple of years, there should be a cloud around him of stench.
You can still smell the blood though, right?
Not much.
Oh no.
That ain't right.
He
Where's
ain't
the-
right.
Blair's also gonna point out on his forehead how there seems to be two divots. Divots?
Divots, yeah.
Divots. On the front of his skull.
Oh!
Where?
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Wait, divots
Is
as
this
in they go
enough?
through the skull, or is it's like a little bump into the bone?
It just says two divots on the front of his skull with thin and oddly shaped drums of skin stretched over them. Oh! It turns out
That's really
consistent with scars from old-time lobotomy surgery.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just freaking out about. I don't. Let's get going.
okay. So I don't think this is enough to confirm for the mission.
Okay. Does anybody
We-
have any? Anybody have any weird hypotheses so far?
Honey's making something made this thing that fucked up.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
thinking
there's
maybe
more of
something.
them.
I'm thinking if it was
Probably more than one of
lobotomized,
this.
it's probably altering people, not necessarily making them. But if it's got some sort of weird skin, I don't know. Like he's super fast, super strong. I don't know what's going on, but he seems definitely more than the average person, especially given the conditions.
I don't think this is enough for a cell though.
Probably not. Do we have enough to at least get like a sample? Like just get like a vial.
So do you need a skin sample?
What is it, a biopsy?
Yeah,
Do
you
we
can take a
have
sample.
cameras with us? We should probably
I mean,
get a picture.
what do you want to take a sample of? There's a lot of him to take samples of.
Yeah.
Probably blood, skin, and maybe a tooth.
Yeah, it seems like a good idea. Blood and deep tissue, and then if we can get some bone as well, that's pretty much the big three.
Yep.
I'm sure I can pick a bone fragment out of my hoodie somewhere.
Who has the best forensics? Because you're taking samples, aren't you? You're collecting evidence.
I've got forensics. It is 34, so not great.
I have a 52.
Is rolling to assist a thing? I forget how that works.
It is not a thing as such, but you can help. I believe you give someone a plus 20 or something? Let me look it up. Meanwhile, what else are we doing here?
I'll take up Phallus's watch since he's helping.
Very good.
Looking up, down, left, right, and making sure to keep an ear open.
I can give you a plus 20, Blair, on the roll.
All right.
Because he's helping you.
Subscribe button. Oh yeah.
That's just sad.
Oh come on.
You are picking up a bunch of samples, and by the time you'll get back to the lab, you will notice that there are contaminants inside the sample bags, ruining the chance for a good analysis, very sadly.
Do we even have a lab to use since this isn't official?
No, you don't. The only lab equipment you have is whatever you brought with you in your luggage, which will be like field lab testing kits. Like you have various solutions that you can use to indicator fluids and such, but you do not have the chemical merry-go-round. Was that what we call it? And
The centrifuge.
yes, that one. You do not have advanced equipment like that, no. As you were working on this, old Tom, he's been watching around all the time, but not even he can resist just, I don't know, maybe it's a morbid curiosity to look at the poor man eventually, because Tristan is also keeping watch, right? He's gonna have a look at him too, and gee, this poor sucker's been out here for a while, he says. Looks like you've been in the woods for years, but naked? How did he survive the winters? Must have been going to grounds. Wait a minute. And then he just stands up and rolls a sanity check for himself.
Oh
But
no.
he passes it, so this is impossible. This can't be. It looks like old Cooter McGee.
Not
But
Cooter McGee.
Who?
I thought he was
What?
dead. He doesn't look a day
Sure.
over 30.
He is.
He should be older than me.
Oh
Isn't
no.
that Sheriff's best friend who went missing?
Oh boy.
He went missing in the 50s. Everybody thought he was
Correct.
dead. Exposure on the mountains. I remember when he was captured. I was about your age then.
God.
So, not only do we got possible psycho surveyors, we have possibly every missing person that's went missing in this town that went psycho and are supernaturally built. Got it.
Is it possible that
What-
these winged ones are maybe cloning or even like abducting and altering people?
You asking me? I don't know.
That's kind of like hypotheses I'm throwing out. I asked about hypotheses earlier, so where I'm at.
I try to not get mixed in with winged one stuff.
From my understanding, they are bestial yet intelligent. They'd more likely feast than alter. So there's something else out here that is altering people. That'd be my
he
guess.
was talking to them, says old Thomas.
Oh, there goes that.
McKee, that's when they attacked me. I was sneaking up on him. I figured he had his distillery up here. And instead of finding his distillery, I found him among stones. The stones I showed you. And he was talking to the winged ones. That's when I ran away. And he looked much the same then as he does right here now, in front of us. God is my witness. I never saw him again, of course, because I was running for my life, getting away from the winged ones. I figured he'd be dead by now. If it's not him, it's someone who's a dead ringer for him, that's for sure. Maybe he had a kid nobody knew about. Grandkid. Yeah, that must be it. This must be his grandkid, right? Huh. Suppose madness runs in the family, eh? Old Thomas has found an excellent explanation for all this. This is actually not Cooter McGee, it's Cooter's grandson.
Is it possible he made a deal with them?
He was talking to them. So, anything is possible. But making a deal with them, that's a foolish notion, ain't it? Ain't
Humans
nothing
are
good
innately
coming out
foolish.
of making a deal with them.
I'm just wondering what could have made them not attack him, but attack everybody else. Or they did attack him, but alter him.
Oh. I picked him for something. Or he came there willingly.
He was keeping an eye on the stones and then us. Maybe they're using him like a watchdog or something.
Sure.
Maybe not all people that get abducted have the same purpose. I mean, who knows?
Maybe.
Oh. Are we just here to confirm there's something supernatural happening here? Right? That's enough?
Alright.
That's where I'm at. Like, it seems to me like we have basically quantifiable reports of intelligent flying crabs that glow and can talk and are most likely abducting people and potentially altering them. For what purpose? Who knows? But, like, how?
We've got physical evidence of one of the people it's altered. But it was like, is there like a realistic explanation? It explains away this. We need like undeniable proof or something, or is this good enough?
I don't think Asa will be happy unless we have absolute concrete proof. It's just circumstantial at most. Lobotomy, signs of lobotomy, talks with winged ones, flying crabs that glow and talk. It seems very circumstantial, at least to me, so...
Can
I
we call
would-
someone? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can we call someone to get maybe like a 4-wheeler and a body bag up here? So we can take this body down to some place where we can keep an eye on it that isn't the woods.
I guess my whole question to Tristan is like, how far do we have to go to confirm it? Do we have to be on a mothership looking at a science experiment gone wrong and being like, okay, that's good enough? But now we're here, so.
Possibly have to find another one of these people, knock them out, and question them thoroughly, or catch it in the act. Just to be sure. We
How would
can
we
take
even-
pictures of the body and then send it to ACEL and give them our hypothesis, but that could result in them telling us to destroy the winged ones, or them just saying, give us more proof because we need to know for sure. Because if we give them a hypothesis, they're just going to tell us, get more proof until we have more evidence to actually...
No, yeah, that definitely seems fair and makes sense. And I think that since we can't just send the text message from up here, since we're already here, we should probably go back to the stones, get a thorough look, because we didn't really get a chance to look around before, we got sidetracked. I feel if there's going to be activity, and if that's what we're looking for, that's going to be the place it's going to happen. So, might as well give it one more once-over before we hop off the mountain.
My only worry is these people, if we can call them that anymore, are well versed in the forest. They know we're at their territory. Usually we can be at somewhat even ground. This is... we are on their turf. They could set traps and we could walk in and die in a matter of seconds. They could ambush us. We don't know how many of them they have. We don't know necessarily what they're doing to enhance these people. We don't know what sort of limits these things have anymore. Because if it was taking down Morgan, then that's dangerous, because she's one of our heavy hitters.
Not to mention, it took out 2 surveyors, people who were specifically trained to be in the woods.
I think they took them. I think they're using them for something.
I agree.
Possibly to make more.
Find him.
And yeah, I think if we're looking for activity or another one of these people that we might be able to knock out, I think best odds, we're not too far away from the stones. May as well just double back a couple minutes, check it out. I doubt they've got the woods crawling with these feral people. How many more watchdogs do you think they really have?
Probably everyone that's ever gone missing in these woods. I'd
So what,
venture a guess.
2 dozen tops? And my big question is realistically, say we get to A-Cell and we're like, hey, here's our scary situation. The woods is full of potential, who knows how many people from decades. Do we expect they're going to send us another team to back us up before we can give them any, like, real information? Like, outside of the sheriff and Irene and Thomas here, what sort of backup can we really expect at all?
Our
They
main
have-
mission. Go ahead.
They have sent backup before. It was another cell, but that was during a huge cult world-ending thing. Yeah, I'm not sure if they would send another cell out without something seeming like a larger threat.
I think
Also,
right now is probably our best time because I think you might be right. Like maybe they do have more people, maybe they're ready to send them out, but maybe they're not ready yet. I think right now, if the primary watchdog, like if Cooter's been up here for what 50, 70 years, who knows, then that probably now is the safest place to get up there and look around, or the safest time at least.
I'm down forever. We're what I've been saying before, be on guard, watch each other's six, and if it comes down to it, between your life and theirs, kill them. We could always find another.
Of course.
I value your lives more than these people.
So back up it is, says old Thomas.
So it would seem.
He sighs a bit, but grabs his walking stick. Probably gonna put that in a loop around his arm somehow, so he's using his rifle more. And having that always by the shoulder, ready to just pull it up and press the trigger in case something comes out of the woods. But we go back up towards the stones. That's what it sounds like to me. Does it sound like that to you as well?
Yeah.
Sadly, yeah.
What do you mean, sadly?
Didn't know I signed up for the Scooby-Doo gang.
No, no.
Which one of us is Shaggy and Scooby?
I don't know, I feel like Sarah's probably Shaggy to some degree.
He's rolling dice for all of us.
Just a little
Yeah.
bit. As you are slowly but surely making your way back up the hill again, forest seems ridiculously normal. You hear the occasional cry. Old Thomas will calm you, and that's just a fox, he says. Some bird cries, he can identify those too, of course. Squirrels scratching up and down the tree trunks. Undoubtedly a deer somewhere. But nothing unnatural. At this particular moment, Phallus and Morrigan and Blair, you don't feel like you're being watched at this particular moment. Those eyes that were following you before, Blair, gone. What have we done with the body of old Cooter McGee?
Somebody's gonna take it if we leave it there.
It's a lot to take, isn't it? Are we
Hmm.
crafting like some kind of beer so you can just carry him, or
I'm definitely on board with taking him on the slope, because if there's others like him in this woods, they're probably going to mistake him. And
Yeah.
it'll be like he was never there, just like the backpack.
Ah. Okay. Let's see. Crafting is a skill group, but I'm gonna allow you to roll a survival check, Morgan, to build some kind of improvised carrying device. Old Thomas might just help
If
you
I'm
out.
lucky,
He's good as this too.
I got pretty high.
Between the two of you, you're pretty sure you're gonna. Yeah, there we go. It's gonna take a little bit of extra time to build the. What do you call it? You wrap together a few blankets from your backpacks around some wood, like sticks, as it were. Old Thomas will help out with. He has a small axe too, so he can chop them off, make sure they're fresh and not murky. And then you'll carry the dead body that is dripping of things from inside it as you lift it up, and then you start carrying it away. And I'm sure it's gonna there will be blood and viscera and other fluids pooling at the bottom, probably start dripping through the blanket as you're carrying him. He's not super heavy. I'm pretty sure that you have people who are heavier in this group, like Dristan probably, because he's a strong fella. Who's carrying then? I'm guessing it's going to be Dristan and someone else. Who are the strongest people
carry
to
him.
carry? Alright, Morgan and
Me.
Dristan will be carrying the dead body between them. I'm gonna ask you to roll a strength check each.
I'm going to hand Sarah my silver hollow point long slide and just say, keep on guard, aim for the chest or the heart.
Got it.
Yikes.
Wow.
Jesus.
You cannot
You
be-
shouldn't. You should have focused on carrying it, not giving the instructions.
Yeah.
So technically we're doing it together. Do we get help?
No, this was mostly I was curious about if you would critically fail this so I could give you exhaustion or something like that. But you didn't, so I can't. But you will make the expedition take extra long time as you're stumbling through the woods. You have, both of you with your military experience, you have some experience of carrying soldiers for medevac and such. And that's what you're trying to do here. But this terrain is not familiar to you, clearly. So far, so good. You haven't broken any ankles or anything like that. But by the time you get back to the actual standing stones, I'm afraid it's going to be, like, quite a bit later.
Damn it.
Yeah. Probably took you about an hour to get back up here. Which is 4 in the afternoon. You still have a few hours left of sunlight, just about enough to get down, I guess. And old Tom will be surveying the lands yet again. What are we doing up here among the stones? With the dead body.
Let's put the dead body in the middle. Just
All
so
right.
we can keep an eye on it, and if someone tries to snag it, they have to run between all of us and have a harder time actually getting it
Or we could-
if it's close to
or-
the edge.
Or we could not put the dead body inside the ritual circle. Just a thought.
I was gonna
We would
say I'll
have
draw
more
a circle
proof.
if you guys like the candles.
It could give us more evidence on what's going on if we do. In my opinion, it's a win-win, but I understand why you'd be hesitant.
Look, I'm just trying to make it home alive, okay?
Believe me too. But I want to get this done as soon as possible so that way we can get home.
Well,
Tristan's just going to, after we decide where to put the body, gonna start investigating around.
what are we looking for?
Footprints, signs of life around this area that wasn't from us, anything specific about these stone tablets. Basically, he's trying to be as thorough as possible about what kind of symbolism this area would have for these people or these things.
Oh, can I help? I might help.
Oh, let's see. You've tried tracking for footprints before around here, haven't you, Tristan? And last time you found a footprint, and you'll find the same footprint this time. No difference.
Does it look the same size as Mr. Cooter McGee?
It does, actually.
I figured out who made the footprint.
Great.
I would like to examine the stones specifically. I remember there was like runes or something on them that were barely decipherable, but I'm gonna just try and pay as much attention to the stones as I can when I do my look around.
Very well. You can't really. Is it actually markings, or is it just the effect of the weather, or is it just... If this guy was lobotomized, maybe he spent some time just carving weird stuff into the rock. It's any of those things, as far as you're concerned. Gwyn, Blair?
I'm gonna keep an eye on the body.
Okay.
I don't trust it.
When you
Blair's gonna
say
keep
keep an eye on the body, what do we mean by keeping an eye on the body?
Making sure it doesn't sit up.
Very well.
Making sure it doesn't magically disappear, because don't think I haven't noticed that the skull symbol is gone.
Oh.
I also just don't
It's
trust anything in
definitely
these
not
woods.
gone.
I still don't trust it. Still
When
don't
we
trust
notice something, the DM has to make sure he fixes it so we're caught by surprise later.
it. Keeping it. I don't trust that body to stay dead. I don't.
Can't imagine why. There are two forms of paranoia in Delta Green: total and insufficient.
Look, he had 2 holes in his head, and he was still walking around. He was supernaturally fast. His skin has the texture of an elephant. I don't trust him.
How many of you have actually felt an elephant before, though?
I know what an elephant feels like, okay?
All you have to go is to
Hit
go to
one.
a zoo at any large metropolitan city, and you'll probably be allowed to pet an elephant, or at least watch its skin. So,
That's fair.
it's not that inaccessible for the modern urbanite. Well, Gwyn, the body isn't moving. The body isn't doing much of anything. It's just lying there on your improvised carrying device. And so far, yeah, we're gonna spend a while here, aren't we? Looking for things. But so far, the search has unfortunately been pretty fruitless. Tristan, Phallus. Old Thomas doesn't know what you're looking for, so he's just gonna look out for ambushes and whatnot, and I'm not gonna lie, I think we should be out of here before nightfall, because if them winged ones come, it'll be bad. Trust me. He's gonna start
agree.
looking into the sky as well. Just in case.
I say we wrap up whatever investigating we have left and then get out of here. I do not feel like getting ambushed in the dark.
I also
Yeah,
agree with you. But if the winged ones are going to show up at night, then that sure would solve our evidence problem, wouldn't it?
We'll
Yeah.
still have an evidence problem if we're too dead to report it.
Or lobotomized.
Yeah.
Lobotomites. Did anybody bring a trail cam?
What?
Pretty sure
Why
we
would you
brought a
need that?
camera, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, I also don't want to be out here. I'm not really sure how helpful just setting up a camera on a tripod would be overnight, but I don't know. Like, it's scary getting evidence in the woods.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that tomorrow.
Once
Probably
we have
shouldn't be
more
waiting.
sunlight and time.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try to catch up with Irene, see if she's made any headway with the sheriff.
Alright, so
I
we're gonna...
say
Yeah, go ahead, just...
if old Thomas will allow, when we get back to at least his place, since it's out of the way, we burn Cooter McGee. So that way there's no body left behind, no evidence, and he remains missing.
To be honest, if we were able to do that here, I think that would save us a lot of hassle getting him down the mountain if we're just going to dispose of his remains anyway.
Old Tom is just looking at you and going, you're not doing that near my cabin, son.
Understood.
I don't want nothing to do with that, any of that sort of thing. If you have to burn a body, you do it somewhere far away from my cabin, please and thank you.
That's why I
No.
asked.
Don't we need to check, like, properly dissect his body first?
We could, but I do not know where we would store him. I do not know where we would take him to burn him, and I think either now would be the best time, and I do not feel like waiting throughout an entire night again and seeing
we-
what's going to happen to this body.
If we try to burn him now, we're likely just going to be, or how do I phrase this? We're going to be here at night if we try to burn him now.
Hmm.
So I think
Well,
we
we're going
either
to be
need
on
to
the mountain just as long if we have to carry a body down it.
Yeah.
Morgan, you will know a few things about survival and burning things in the woods. A lot of the firewood up here, getting firewood to a pyre is not going to be difficult. It's going to take time. You have to chop it up, you have to build an actual bonfire, you have to put the body on it, and so on and so forth. That's hours worth of work right there. And then the wood itself is not going to be particularly dry because it's early June and it's very foggy and humid up here. If you don't have accelerants, which, I mean, you have a few, I guess, for your cooking purposes, but you didn't come prepared to make a bonfire, let's just say. So it might be a little bit challenging to get a proper bonfire going. I'm not saying it's not possible, but you have to contend with the humidity and so on. So it's not a quick project.
Not to mention, you need to get the fire up to about 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit and keep it there for several hours to cremate a body, and even then, there's still bone fragments left.
Yeah, I wasn't even. Yeah, it's if just getting the flesh burning. I don't know that you need 10,000 degrees for that, but yeah.
Yeah, cremating a body is not very easy.
No, turning it to ash completely. It's a possibility. It can be done. It was done with bonfires historically, but It's definitely not
Yeah.
something you'll do in 15 minutes.
No, just if we're like trying to completely get rid of this thing, we'll need like a blender and probably a kiln.
Then down the mountain we go, and then we can
Yep.
just scatter the bones along the forest.
You're gonna chop him up?
No, after we burn him
Oh,
and
okay.
collect whatever bones are left, just scatter the bones across the forest.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Surely there's an incinerator here somewhere.
It's
don't
a
have the
small community.
clearance
The towns in the valley has to have an incinerator somewhere because that's just part of civilization, isn't it? They're not going to have like a hospital here, but even a small clinic will have an incinerator for biohazard material.
Is it going to
Okay,
be harder to break into the morgue after hours than it is to just do a big ass bonfire and kill?
Yeah, it's
Like
probably
dismember a
easier
man.
to get to the morgue. Yeah.
Okay,
to-
wait,
to
hear
the
me
extent
out.
that there is one.
What if we're just overcomplicating this? The sheriff's a friendly. We could get him to issue a death certificate. We could then take that death certificate and the body over to a local crematorium and have the thing cremated. No problem. No need to sneak in anywhere.
The man who's been missing for 30-something years with a bowling ball-sized hole in his chest.
That's the
Yes.
thing. It'd have to be a John Doe at that point, obviously, because they couldn't say this is the body of Cooter Brown. If he's forging
get
it, yeah, it doesn't really matter too much evidence if he can just convince the people at the clinic, like, hey, we got this thing, take care of it.
And this was his best friend.
Well,
So
yeah,
we
I see.
just get a John Doe death certificate and we can be on our way.
Now he's saying that emotional reaction from the deputy will likely be the complicating factor here. Which,
Yeah, you never know until you try.
Is it safe
I
to
mean-
assume that you guys have walkie-talkies with you so you can talk to Agent Irene on the radio?
yeah, of course.
Hey, maybe it's best if we talk to the sheriffs ourselves about this, because he doesn't seem to like Irene. Just saying. Maybe this should be something we break the news to him ourselves.
Do you want to go to Old Thomas's cabin first, or are we going straight down to civilization? It'll take
should
about
probably-
twice as much time to go by Old Thomas's cabin first, rather than go straight to civilization. So,
I think it's safer to go to old Thomas's place first with the body, if he allows, and then go to civilization once we know for sure we can burn it in a crematorium. But if we can't, then we take the body as far away from old Thomas's place, burn it in a pyre, and then just scatter the bones around the forest.
So here's Old Thomas's shack, and over on the west side is civilization. Now, you parked your vehicle, one of your vehicles, obviously, somewhere on these dotted lines are the logging routes, logging roads, and you would have parked somewhere on a logging road. So you have to choose between going to Old Thomas or your car, and then you can get your vehicle. Here's me assuming that Agent Irene either she had to trek all the way back to the village, which is not impossible. It's a matter of what,
And
10 kilometers tops, which is a decent hike, but it's not it takes a few hours,
That's
but
fair.
it's not too hard.
there'll be
So,
multiple kilometers.
what was that? Yeah, are we going to straight to the vehicle or to Old Thomas's shack? That is the question right now.
My
Got the
vote's on
body,
vehicle.
so-
Sorry.
You got the body, so vehicle is the best bet right now.
Yeah.
I want the body in his house.
My vote's on vehicle just so we can get this over and done with.
Okay.
So nobody's objecting to that. We're go to the vehicle we're going. It's gonna be a long day of trekking, hasn't it been? Like, you started basically at dawn, and you're still at it. Stomachs will be growling soon, and now you're gonna take a body all the way down the mountain. But it's down the mountain now, not up the mountain. That's not much easier, but it has at least gravity assist. Is this body just gonna lie on your stretcher, your improvised stretcher here, or are we covering with a blanket? What? Or is that a question for when you get to the vehicle and civilization?
I don't think
The
it would
civil-
be too much of an issue until we start to get close to the vehicle, or unless we expect to see somebody else on the trails or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so on we go, folks. Still in that forest, and this time going down. I have a feeling some people's legs will be aching a little bit by this time tomorrow, from all the work of carrying the body and so on. Speaking of which, I would like Tristan and Morgan to roll your strength checks again, as you are carrying the stretcher, aren't you?
Lovely.
I can tell you that old Thomas's entire body language gets more and more relaxed the further you get away from the stones. And this time, Morgan and Tristan is on point. It's much easier to carry the body down the hill than up the hill. That's gotta be it. Gwyn, Blair, Phallus, what are you doing as you're descending the mountain? Just keeping an eye out? Old Thomas will, of course, lead you. He knows where your vehicle is. Jeannie told him.
Yep. Just keeping an eye out.
Yep.
Don't want any surprises.
Yeah, I'm probably bringing up the rear. Just keeping an eye. If we're coming down the mountain, I'll have the highest elevation at that point too. So just getting an overview of everything.
Yep. Keeping an eye. Once more, as you are walking through this challenging terrain, the many rocks, the logs that lie across, even when you find deer paths, they're made for deer, by deer, and it's not made for human feet, so there's gonna be places where you can't really find a good footing. There's gonna be places where maybe you slip a little bit on the moss. It's getting chillier now because the sun is going down, and it's going down on the other side of the mountain, so you're gonna be in shadows. It's not dark yet, mind you. Dark doesn't come until 9 or so it still feels like late afternoon, but because you are in the shadows, it's also gonna be chilly. The temperature's slowly creeping down towards not quite freezing, but not comfortable, not flip-flop summer weather either. And none of you notice anything terrible as you're going down. There is just the animals avoiding you, because you, frankly, with this burden you're carrying, you make a lot more noise than you would otherwise. And squirrels will be curious, but they'll run away. Birds will fly to some other perch. You're not going to see a whole lot of deer this time. You're making too much noise for them to stick around. Probably something moving in the underbrush. Could be anything. But nothing that seems to be wanting to threaten you or eat you, which must make you feel okay, I guess? It's
Where'd it
going
go?
to be... What was that?
Where'd the threatening things go?
I killed them.
Possibly still on Owlshead Mountain. You're coming down from Owlshead Mountain. Look! Civilization! A logging road! And that's your vehicle is
Definitely.
not too. It's like right in front of you or something. Not right in front of you, but it's not going to take too long to get to the vehicle. Which is probably the van that Agent Irene had organized for you by the airport. Because that's going to carry a lot more capacity. You have been trekking now through the forests for a good 12 hours. Gwyn, your legs are shaky. There's probably sweat just absolutely clammy everywhere where you can be clammy. And you have a dead body on a stretcher, and you have a van. And the forest seems to have let you go this time. Old Thomas
Hey,
will...
not gonna test that luck again. Let's go.
Thomas will look at you all and say, "Here we are, off Owlshead. Made it without any winged ones for now. But if you don't mind, I'll leave you to it here, and I'll get back to my cabin and lock the door tight for tonight, because I don't trust they might be coming, and I'm gonna keep a good watch tonight, and I'm gonna keep my rifle at the ready. So if you come by the cabin during the night, do call out so I don't shoot you in the dark, thinking you're a winged one, eh?"
Will do.
You got it.
Got it. Right.
Alright, good luck to you all now. And he's gonna shake each and every one of your hands. This is a strange one, isn't it? But then again, when it comes to you lot, it always is, ain't it?
That's what I'm gathering.
Well, I wish you luck. And if you're ever up these parts again, just swing by to my cottage. A friend of Jeannie's is a friend of mine, you hear? Maybe we can meet under better circumstances, and I can take you to some nicer places. There's some really nice, beautiful places up here in the woods. Just not the stones.
How do you know Jeannie, by the way?
Oh, we met a few years ago. She was here doing a job like yours, but it was up in Glastonbury, not Owlshead.
And she gave you her real name?
I just call her Jeannie. That's what you told me to call her. I haven't poked my nose into nothing that it doesn't belong to. But yeah, I'm not going to tell you anything about that without her approval, you understand? It was bad, but I'll let her fill you in when she feels like it's the right time.
Okay.
Thanks for your help, Thomas. Get home safe.
I'll do my very best, he says. Now you be careful there, son, and protect the ladies, eh?
Of course.
So Thomas will exit stage left. Or right, I don't know. You have a van, you have a dead body, you have a stretcher, you have a drive to town, which isn't going to take a whole lot of time, really. It's a matter, 20 minutes to town, and mostly because the logging road is terrible. Once you hit the paved road, you're there in 5 minutes, but you have to get to paved road, too. And, oh yeah, you have the body that you... Where are we putting the body? What are we doing now? How are we proceeding?
It's a van.
Yeah, there's a van.
And yeah, presumably there's a space in the back for him. It's not just like a full passenger, like church bus style van. Is it? There's like a cargo space.
Yeah, there would be. You can fold some seats over to make cargo space as well. It's not hard.
So the kind of like work van that I'm imagining has like the cab in the front and then the back half that you can essentially, there's no upholstery or anything like that. It's just like space, just like a bed and a pickup truck, but in an enclosed van. You could just spray it out with a hose, not have to worry about upholstery.
I was thinking about a van where you have the multi-seats. So, like
Okay.
a 10-seater van. Because she was picking up all of you, right, from the airport.
I think we should just ditch the body off the side of the road and come back for it. We're gonna have to return the van. There's gonna be blood in it.
I'm just saying, Do we really want to risk having it up and disappear?
Yeah. That's the
I'm
main
sure-
concern.
I'm sure we can put down like a poncho or something. It's Vermont in the summer. Surely one of us grabbed a poncho.
I guess worst case scenario, if the van goes missing, that's on Irene and not us. But
Yeah.
Salsa
Okay.
water and lemon gets rid of blood.
So does hydrogen peroxide and cold water.
so does driving a flaming van off the side of a mountain.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
We're not the ones who put their credit cards down for this.
Yeah.
Who did though?
And
Irene!
So many
She
dice.
picked it up!
That's fair. That's fair.
dude, the scariest thing in the world is seeing dice that aren't percentile getting rolled. Let's go ahead and get a tarp or roll this body up.
All right, we are rolling the body up, aren't we?
Yeah. Go ahead and
Yep.
fold back the last couple rows of seats so we can stash him under it.
Fellas, I have a small note to you.
Oh no. Terrible news.
It's a whisper.
Oh, that explains why I didn't see it.
In Foundry.
Fuck.
Feel free to roll a
What's-
sanity check.
What's wrong?
It's violence, right? Because it's a wound.
No, it's not violence.
What's wrong?
Rolling sanity.
Oh no.
Oh,
Roll a d4.
He's no longer at 69 anymore.
Bomber mode.
Well, that
Why was it a
too
question? Oh, it was in
bad.
the whisper.
please dock him down one more. I'm begging you.
6, 7.
Shut the fuck up!
No.
Please.
8, 9.
Please. Yes.
Oh no.
Please.
Why is 6 afraid of 7?
How do
No.
you react? Because 2 points insanity could be that you are basically shouting, screaming, getting very nervous. It's not like a collapse or of any type. but
Yeah. No, when I see that there's a very visible reaction, I'm like, oh shit, that hole is much smaller than when I initially put it there.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the
What do you
I
mean?
pointed his chest. I'm like, that hole, that is much smaller than when I initially put it there.
Put in another one!
Drive
Oh.
as far. Find a
Ew.
clearing. We're building this pyre now. We're burning him.
I don't give a fuck! Make that hole bigger!
Can we just put the knife in the chest cavity to where when his heart grows back, there would be a knife in it?
Sarah,
like,
my gun.
kind
my
of
gun.
like
You know
how
what?
they put the nails
You know
in the
what?
tree to
You know
poison
what?
them.
You know what? The dead shall rise.
It's a copper nail, right? That's how it works.
No!
Sarah, my gun, please.
No.
Fuck that! Here's your gun.
Should have shot him again. Should have shot
He's
him again.
dead. Why did it say dead?
Should have just burned him. I knew it. We should have burned him.
Phallus,
Anyway.
you are up first.
I hope
You
everybody.
see the twitch before everyone else sees the twitch.
I hope everybody forgives me for the impending hearing damage that's about to occur.
Putting our hot one in his chest.
Can't hold a grudge if I'm dead.
Oh my god, no, yeah. Unload the entire clip. Should have shot him in the head.
Bloodam! You just shoot him again. And you hit.
Yeah. It's 2d8, right?
It is.
God, what did I load this shotgun
Yes.
with?
Let's go.
Holy hell!
I
Go.
mean, what if it's
Phallus
not
with a
birdshot?
shotgun is the deadliest thing that exists in this forest, I'm telling you. This time you're pointing it probably at his head and just.
Just blow it off.
Or where are you pointing it? I don't know. You tell me.
I would, if there's still an open chest wound cavity and he's laying down, then I want to aim in such a way that I'm shooting up into where his head would be, but through the already open cavity. Like,
That is the
What
most
the
cold shots
hell?
of cold shots that I've ever heard. So I would have to deduct a 40% on that for the absolute coldness of the shot. So then you would miss.
oh, I didn't realize it was like that. I thought it was just
Oh,
like an
yeah.
exciting, how do you end him type thing. But in that case, I'm just aiming center mass.
Okay. Blam! A chunk of the skin and more flesh just flies in all sorts of directions.
Could have shot him in
And,
the head, bro.
Yeah. The encounter is over before it began. Because Cooter is once again dead.
And then I'm like, he moved!
Double
He
tap.
moved! Did you see him? He moved!
Phallus.
Yep, I am going to go ahead.
Let's see now. Everybody here. This was violence, inflicting violence on people, is what it was.
Is he people though? Is
Maybe
not a
a
people.
little bit.
He's a
He
corpse.
looks
We
like
saw-
people.
Saw his chest
He's-
close.
You
He had
just
a
tried
massive
to
hole in his
kill
chest,
a
he got
murderous
up again.
enemy in cold blood, Phallus. So roll a sanity check, please, for inflicting violence.
I was built for violence.
Apparently. Locks and chest cavities. That's what you've been telling us all along. You are okay. As nervous as you are because of the reaction when you saw that, then you pulled the trigger cold and just put him down again.
I light a cigarette before I load another shell in.
Uh-huh. And let's see now. Gwyn, I would like you to roll a sanity check too, just to see him do this. Huh!
Nice.
You're also okay. Apparently.
shit happens?
Apparently,
Well,
yeah. It does.
Expecting this to happen. This was going to happen eventually. Why do you think I spent so long poking his face?
Uh-huh. Yeah. No,
I mean-
now you have him lying. I'm guessing he was lying on the stretcher as you were taking care of the van and providing space for him in the van. So now there is a bunch of goo, red goo. It goes through his body, out the other side. So there's going to be a hole in the blankets of the stretcher, and pieces of lung and other cartilage and muscle chunks and some bone pieces. It's chunky.
It's gonna be a bitch to clean out. I'm gonna say that.
We need to find a clearing now, build that pyre, and burn this body to ash before it comes back again.
Or we
Agreed.
could get a crematorium and lock him in an oven.
I don't think we have enough time for that, if I'm being honest. We have to go through proper procedures for that. While if we
But
just go to a clearing,
here's the problem with building a fire, though. It's going to take hours.
Phallus
it's
seems
nearly-
to be.
And in the hours it take to build this fire, that thing might as well just get up again.
It's nearly
Faust.
impossible to get a fire hot enough to burn a body to the degree that we need. If we take it to a crematorium, we could destroy its DNA and leave only just some potassium compounds left. I'd say that's a pretty good way of thoroughly destroying this thing.
Tristan, sorry, you were saying?
I don't know. I want this thing gone as fast as possible
Oh,
because
oh no.
I think a chemical reaction
Okay.
would be the best way to handle it, via fire, or if we have some sort of solution that could melt it. I think there's still like runoff after
Roll
that you
sanity,
have to deal
Blair.
with.
What are the chances I
Uh.
could get? What are the chances I could get my hands on some piranha acid?
Oh, thank God.
You're okay. Piranha acid? I don't even know what piranha acid is.
Maybe
That's
something like
no.
maybe something like hydrofluoric. That might be too much though. Shit, what's that one that reacts violently with organic material?
That's the one I'm trying to remember.
Piranha acid.
Let's look on
Like
Amazon.
sulfur.
Cool flesh-eating acid.
you're gonna get put on a watch list.
It's okay. I never mind.
I checked my lab notebook, but I'm pretty sure it booted me out of there after I took my final. Yeah,
Whatever
apparently there
this-
is a common, at least common enough that they let freshmen use it, chemical that reacts so violently with organic materials that, yeah.
That could be cool.
Yeah, we could probably get some.
Whatever we
If breaking
do.
into the morgue, we're already at the car, so at this point it's less than an hour to get there. I think with the damage that we've already done, we might have more time.
No,
I
we
mean-
need to figure it out quickly because of how he had healed enough to be able to walk again.
Yeah. Short of quickly dismembering arms and legs, that's a little easier gauge to be able to determine when he becomes a threat. But yeah, maybe going to the morgue is probably the quickest idea. How far down the road is it from where we are?
Provided there even is a morgue here. Like, these are small communities. Yeah, in places like this, they often just, okay, I'm sorry, we're gonna need to use the restaurant freezer for a while here because we don't have a proper morgue. You're out in the boonies now. You're very far from any larger settlements, as it were. It would take you a couple of hours of drive to get to a... But it can be done. You can get yourself to a major town where you might find a morgue. Then you just need to convince the locals that, you have a good reason to use it, which I guess you do. Oh, yeah, here you go. It's a dead body. Where did you find that? Let's call the cops. Oh, now we have problems. Anyway.
Exactly why we need a certificate of death.
I thought we were going to break into a morgue at night, but if there's not like a readily accessible morgue in the small town, then yeah, that could be the issue.
And besides, if we turn this into the police as a John Doe, then this is now the police's problem.
I think we should call ASL. I think now we should call ASL.
Yeah, because I think this is enough proof.
Yeah.
ASL, what do we do? Shotgun blast in the background.
Set a timer for 13 minutes.
Hey, ASO, we have a problem. That's the problem.
You might find on a hardware store here, Gwyn, you might find muriatic acid, sulfuric acid. That's like for auto parts, like battery electrolyte refill kits.
Oh yeah.
Phosphoric acid for hardware paint, rust remover, that sort of thing.
Sulfuric acid's the good stuff.
Yeah,
Can we get some paint thinner too?
Oh, probably, absolutely.
Great.
Pool
Okay,
cleaner.
so we've
Drain opener.
chlorine? Do you mean chlorine?
Acid is what my machine is telling me.
Could we possibly get some brake fluid and sugar?
Absolutely. Sugar is easy to find. Brake fluid is also easy to
find. Okay, do we have a nice clearing
You can probably find a nice clearing just about anywhere around here. Yeah.
I'd like to douse this thing in brake fluid.
What happens then, said the GM, who has never doused anything in brake fluid for obvious reasons.
Kaboom.
Oh, we're gonna do a kaboom?
If I
Oh.
remember correctly, mixing brake fluid and sugar causes a very exothermic reaction.
Oh,
Oh.
then.
We call that trailer park white phosphorus.
I'm just saying, if there was a moment where it was clear this woman was raised by Talbot, it's now.
Does that mean that we're taking the van, including a body in the van, unless you want to leave it here in the forest, to the town to buy the sugar and the brake fluid, and then go back out into the forest to do this deed somewhere in the forest, probably not in the middle of a logging road?
Yeah.
Since people famously use logging roads for work and will come upon a weird black stain on the ground. The risk for
Look.
forest fire right now is pretty low because it's early in the season and it's still humid and cold enough. So that's a silver lining, I guess.
Let's go.
All right.
See what else.
You know what? During this, when you're, or let's roll a luck check. Someone rolls a luck check for me, please.
I am not feeling lucky.
Why not?
Who is feeling lucky?
I could do it if you want.
I'll do it because statistically I have to pass one eventually, but it probably won't be this one.
Oh,
Say the word and I'll do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
I told you. I told you.
It wasn't this
God
one.
damn it.
As you are driving, there will be a sound on your walkie-talkie. Z-Cell, this is I-Cell. Over.
Z-Cell speaking?
Gotta say over.
Over.
Zyra,
Fucking know this.
Irene here. I've been worried about you. You haven't been checking in all day.
That's... Mountains aren't great with cell service. Over.
That's true. Over. Any progress on your end? You can tell me when we rendezvous. Meeting at the motel? I'm there already.
We're gonna have to take a detour. You wouldn't happen to know where we could buy sugar and brake fluid, right? Over.
As it happens, I do. She will give you 2 addresses.
Thank you. Over.
Good luck. Be seeing you. Over and out. She's just accepting it, taking it in a stride. She's been on some ups too. She knows it gets weird.
I like Irene. She's pretty cool.
She's just keep me posted, all right? I don't want to wake up to a missing team tomorrow. Check in every hour, please. Over.
We'll do our best. Over.
Very good. Over now. All right. So into town, pick up some sugar and brake fluid, feeling your stomachs growling more and more as it's definitely past supper time. It's now closer to 8.
Real quick, before we drive into town with the dead body and the shotgun, would it be better to leave a person or two like off somewhere with the dead body, occasionally like poking it with something sharp to hopefully not bring it back?
I volunteer.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point. If now that the van's already bloody and fucked up, we could just occasionally
not-
stab him
actually,
in the vitals.
I think the shot was taken outside the van, not inside it, which is good
Yeah,
for you.
cool.
But yeah,
Yeah.
though there
Yeah,
might be
let's
some
just-
blood splatter on the outside that you quickly can wipe out. Yeah.
Occasionally, just whack him with the hammer while we're in the hardware store. Just
Yeah.
make sure
I
he doesn't kill.
Can I hold
know what?
this?
Sitting in the car, like with my pistol pointed at his head, waiting for him like to move.
You know what? Even better.
have,
Here's a
have this
here's
act. Can I just?
even better. Just get a garrote. Make it bloodless.
Just try not to shoot him in the parking lot.
Look, this
Can
this
I
place is
chop his head
country, but
off?
not that country. Can we diminish the blood, please?
Oh,
Remember, we need to turn this car back into Hertz or wherever we got it.
You do, yeah.
It's gonna be a bit of a stretch, but yeah, let's wishful thinking. Yeah.
The car was
This-
lost in. It fell off a cliff. Yep, that's what happened. Total write off. Sorry, guys.
It's just,
Can't help but think I'm
Yeah.
gonna hit a child of the forest with this van at some point in the future.
you know what? Just, yeah, don't do anything stupid while we're here.
Alright, so is the body in the van or in the forest? I just want to have this cleared up. Are we leaving Morrigan alone with the body in the forest? Is that what we're saying?
I'm staying as
No.
well, just to keep.
I'm
Just to
hunched
help.
over this body with an axe, occasionally.
So we're leaving
like,
Morrigan
with a
and
knife or something,
Tristan in
poking
the
him.
forest with the body. That's what we're doing.
Not like in the forest, just like somewhere that's not in
Mutilating
the
it.
parking lot, so I don't have to like shoot a gun in the parking lot in case something pops off.
If you notice here, the towns, it's not an enormous distance. Just getting across these towns, 5 kilometers across. So if you shoot anywhere close to this area, they're probably going to hear it because the gunshot is going to bounce off the mountain walls. You're in a valley. They're not quiet guns. So
I'm gonna level with
What was that?
I'm gonna level with you, boss. I used to live in a really rural area. Ooh, nobody gave a shit if there was a gunshot.
That's entirely possible. I'm just saying you've been talking a lot about not shooting things in around town. So
I was talking about like in the parking lot.
Okay,
that's
fair
not
enough.
right.
Fair
I
enough.
like to
Okay,
shoot
so
this
outside
thing,
the
but-
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
are there hunters here in town? Absolutely. You betcha. This is
Yeah. The
Yeah.
attitude where I'm from was if like, so long as I don't see what you're shooting, I don't care.
yeah, and that tracks for here too, probably.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that a local pastime will be to just shoot at all sorts of cans with whatever gun you've picked up from the store lately, 'cause fun.
Yeah.
There isn't a whole lot of other fun to be had around here unless you go to the Blue Moon Mall, apparently. Anyway, Tristan and Morgan are going to stay behind on the outskirt of town, not exactly in the parking lot, with a dead body wrapped in a blanket. Maybe dead body. You don't know anymore. Nobody knows anymore. We're all a bit shifty at this point, aren't we? So, out of sight, immediately out of sight of the shopping locations in the Blue Moon Mall. And Blair and Faust and Gwyn, we go in and do your shopping raid. I think you all have enough money in your pocket to pick up these things. I don't think they're going to be terribly expensive. I can't remember ever having bought brake fluid before, but it seems to me that people working for the FBI would have enough money in your bank account to buy some brake fluid. Depending on how much you need, of course, Gwyn. You're the chemical expert. How much do you need? More than normal?
I'm just gonna say enough that it doesn't look suspicious. So maybe let's see. How much brake fluid is sold in one container?
I have no idea.
Usually it's
looking up.
quarters of a gallon. If it's the type I think it is.
Okay, how much
Normal.
brake fluid goes into a car? Sorry.
Depends if you're already low on blinker fluid or not, but
Do about a liter for a full flush.
it's not too bad.
which is not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not even a milk. That's like a quarter of a milk jug.
Okay.
And if you want to cover the entire body in this stuff, you're gonna need more.
Mm,
Since we're getting that too, let's go ahead and get the tarp, and we'll even get a tunnel or like one of the funnels, and then one of those little like runoff pans too, just to not make it suspicious why we're getting so much brake fluid.
yeah,
Right,
okay.
yeah.
Phallus, you grab some brake fluid and maybe a tarp. Blair, you grab the another thing of brake fluid and a funnel. I'll grab some sugar and some other baking supplies, and we'll check out like 3 people apart, so it doesn't look like we just bought a total of 1.5 gallons of brake fluid and sugar.
That makes sense.
The sugar and
You know-
baking supplies may not even be sold in the same store realistically, unless we're like at a super center somewhere.
Yeah.
Alright, it's the Blue Moon Mall. There's gonna be access to this where all the stores have gone.
Surely there's a
Cool.
Walmart in
Yeah.
here.
So it's gonna be fine. You're gonna find the stuff. That's not hard. But it's probably a good idea to split up like this and do all the things. This is called counterintelligence, isn't it? So that the slips can't be traced back to you. And since it's 1998, I guess we're using cash and not a plastic card that tells the entire world of where you are right now. Yes.
Yeah.
I, as an internet savvy person, know that credit is just a scam where you give somebody real money for a handshake, and so I almost always keep cash.
Good for you. Yeah, so you have bought the things, and you're gonna be back with Tristan and Morgan at the van.
Hey,
So
how
far,
was our
no
friend?
movement.
No, they haven't. He hasn't
Oh.
moved at all.
Maybe you should stomp on him one good time, just make sure.
No reactions.
Nice. Okay. Professor, you want to go ahead and teach this chemistry lesson for us?
Thank you. Of course. So first we're going to start by spreading approximately 1.5 gallons of breaker fluid over the body.
Kids,
Make sure
don't
to
try
douse-
this at home.
Maybe I should stop describing how to make bombs and exothermic reactions on stream.
Yeah,
No, please
yeah,
do.
maybe
It's
you
very
should.
informative.
Make sure to soak the blanket too. Get everything while we're in here.
Quinn,
Flip it. Flip. Yes.
please roll me a chemistry check.
Oh.
I'm sure it's gonna go great. It did! Look at you go!
Oh, yay! I was worried it was going to be another Talbot situation where I set myself on fire.
You are very tired, and, like, your brain is so numb after 12 hours of walking in the forest and all the emotional things that have been happening, and it's the Scooby Gang instead of the lab. It's been a day for you. It really has been. And there's always the risk in that case that your brain will short circuit and you will do one thing before another or just fumble a little bit with the stuff and then yeah. But you didn't. You did the thing, and I guess he's on fire now.
Hey! Great job, team!
He's screaming a lot
Oh.
when you set him on fire.
Oh no.
Okay.
So please roll sanity.
All of us?
No, just Gwen. She was doing this. I guess all of you, really, honestly, because you're all very complicit in this, aren't you?
You let me
Yeah.
murder a man.
That was this violence?
Yes, this is violence, yeah. Jareth is just.
I'm more trying to like comfort Sarah. Had to be done. This isn't a human anymore.
Shove not a teammate's body into an incinerator, but an enemy. And yeah, okay. Roll a d6, Gwyn. Okay, good for you. Just 3 sanity points lost. You know what that means? A check mark against being adapted to violence. You're first.
Horrible person.
Yeah. Tristan didn't lose anything. Phallus succeeds as well. How about Blair and Morrigan? You're all very complicit in this. You helped buy the stuff, Blair.
Oh, thank God.
But you're also hardened by now, aren't you? By
Yeah.
just the school of hard Delta Green knocks. How about Morrigan? Morrigan, are you there?
Oh,
Apparently not.
Microphone. Messed up again. Sorry.
All right.
Doing
Roll
that.
sanity, please.
Okie dokie.
You are complicit in this. You helped arrange for this.
oh no.
Okay.
Well.
Since you are not the one actually lighting the bonfire, I'm gonna have you roll just a d4.
Okay.
That wasn't too bad, was it? Morrigan can just stand staring in horror on this body that starts screaming in horrid pain.
Oh my
All
God.
that hair, you can feel the smell of burned hair as though those dreads and that messy beard just goes up, and he screams for a good 3 or 4 minutes before he stops. And yeah, the body is on fire and it's burning bright. And you feel the smell of burnt flesh.
Oh
And
God.
it stinks horribly.
I'm going to hell.
You'd go to hell if it was a person. This isn't a person. This is a monster. Whatever humanity they had died years ago. If anything, you're freeing them. Find solace in that. The screams are the creature that possessed them dying. You did a kindness. As messed up as that is.
It doesn't feel like it.
It may not at the moment, but in time, it will. The body may look human, but it's not anymore. Humans don't regenerate like that. Humans can't traverse and can't handle nature as well as that. This thing, whatever it is, it's an abomination.
I want to hope that I don't have to do that again.
Yeah.
Oh. But I might have to.
Sadly, it comes with the territory with this place. I may not have been here long, but I'm piecing things together that this is only natural when it comes to Delta. Dispose of
didn't-
the unnatural by any means necessary.
Why didn't you warn me that this was a thing?
I couldn't at the time. If I did, that'd only put you in danger. It'd make... I don't know what Delta would have done if I did tell you. I don't know what these people would have done if I told someone close to me that the unnatural is real. These people care a lot about making sure that these things stay hidden from the populace. So, I do not trust that they wouldn't try to silence anybody who I told.
So you let me just walk into this?
I didn't know you were going to be a part of this. I
I
hate
work
that you're
in
a
a
part of this.
I work in a toxicology lab, for God's sake.
I know.
You didn't think, it didn't cross your mind that maybe I'd see something I couldn't understand, that I couldn't comprehend. You knew, Mom knew, my boss knew, and none of you me.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought I could keep it hidden.
You thought. So how long is this thing going to take to burn?
I don't know. Never had to burn something like this before. Usually had to burn buildings and whatnot.
It's been
Should have brought something.
burning for a little while now, and there's a body there. It's not ashes. You can see the arms, the legs, the head, the torso. It's definitely very burned, all of it. No human would survive burns like that. This is sooner or later the accelerant, the fuel, the chemical process will have consumed its fuel, so it's not going to burn much longer than that because the body is not going to add fuel to the fire as such. Not much. It looks like Blair. It looks what's lying there on the ground in the clearing looks a desiccated husk that you'd find in a burned building. Like, sure, recognizably it was a human at some point, but you'd probably have to bring out the dental records to identify who it was. Just severe burns all over. And yeah, there are no eyes left. They must have melted sometime during the process. He's not moving.
He wasn't moving before and he still got up.
We've got plenty of time to go get a certificate of death now.
Yes.
So you want to go to a morgue, is what you're saying?
Yep.
Very well. So we're wrapping this up in tarp. That was what we said, right?
Yep.
Yep. And
I think we should take a hatchet to it, just to make it even harder to come back if it does.
Maybe crack open the skull for good measure.
And at the very least, yeah, like separate at the limbs.
Yeah.
This
I'll do
is
the dirty work on
gruesome
that one.
work, you guys. This is absolutely gruesome work. So
Not
who's
different
gonna
than dissecting
go
a
in
pig.
and start doing the work on the body here to dismember this body?
I started it. I'll volunteer to go ahead and get to chopping. Could you roll my sanity for me, please?
I can do that. I succeeded with the sanity check too.
Thank you.
Ah, you're very
course.
welcome. Look at that. So, no sanity loss for you. Good for you. It's just probably not something you're gonna forget really soon, are you?
Chopping brisket.
Yes, it is, which is why you're probably not going to want to chop any brisket anytime soon again, right?
Yeah, I'll stick to the pulled pork next time I go for barbecue.
Yeah.
So what's in his skull? Can we take a peek
Brain?
in the like a
No,
weird
no,
brain? Or?
the brain, whatever is left of a brain after it's been cooked for a while.
Leo, just to put that over there.
Yeah. Yeah, that might be a good idea. You have chopped up the body in pieces. It's now all lying in the tarp, or are we spreading it out? What are we doing here with the body pieces? Something has to go to the morgue, but I don't know how you're planning to do this.
The morgue wasn't so much my idea, but if we are taking it, then yeah, I would presume we just leave it all together on the tarp. But
Right.
if you think the morgue is an extra step, then we should probably go ahead and scatter it or run it over, try to break it up. Just do as much as we can. Just crush it.
The nearest possible morgue, you'd probably have to check in a phone book, really, for this general region, because it's not going to be here. Like, maybe there's a funeral home cooler. There might be like they definitely have a clinic here because they have to take care of skiing accidents during the winter season. But it may or may not be very heavily staffed. This is not an area. It's not enough. There isn't enough people who live in this valley for a single doctor to operate here. So they're gonna have a doctor who comes out here, or they have to drive to the hospital or to a doctor like an hour away or something. Because this is not a big community. They just don't get. They might have a local nurse, but it's not big enough. We're talking like less than 1,000 people, which is not enough for a single family doctor. Like you need to have more patients as a family doctor than just 1,000. It's just too few people for a single doctor. But looking through the phone book, you can tell there is a hospital or such about 45 to maybe an hour away in a larger town.
Hospital's gotta have an incinerator.
Yeah.
And here's another play too. What if instead of a incinerator, we just put it in a barrel under some rocks and put some cement in there? Put the remains as we have it, just under some cement in a barrel. Bury that
Yes.
somewhere.
Yeah, we might not get a death certificate for a burned, dismembered body, so that actually might be a better idea.
Hey, we're some out of towners. Don't ask. We found this dead body. Don't ask. He's also very burnt and cut up, and there's some questionable holes in him. Once more, don't ask. Twice. Can we
He
get a
also
test check?
suspiciously looks like someone who's been missing for 20-something years. Don't ask.
And we're with the
Not
secret government agency you're
anymore.
supposedly a part of. Don't
He
ask.
doesn't look like that anymore because you've burned him to a crisp. He doesn't
How old
look
are the
like
concept of digital
anyone
record?
anymore. He just looks like a lot of charcoal on a skull.
Oh man. Yeah, I think alternative disposal method. Cement barrel in the woods. That's my go-to.
That might be a good idea.
He can't get out of cement.
At least I fucking hope not. And if he can, that's
He
above my
would-
pay grade. I was supposed to be a scout.
Yeah.
As long as his limbs are far enough apart to where he can't just regenerate them, and there's like at least a thick amount of concrete between his limbs, he should be fine. Shouldn't be able to regenerate his arms and legs close enough to him to break out of the cement if he is strong enough.
Wait, yeah, you have a
Here's-
point. Why are
here's the
we
hope.
even doing this? It's not our job to handle this thing. We were just supposed to fuck around and find out. We found
We
out.
Yeah, we fucked around, we found out, now we need to dispose of this body before cops find out, and then our ass is grass.
Okay, but the chief of police is on our side, though.
Is it the chief of police, or was it just like a deputy with the sheriff's?
Where's the sheriff? I don't know. I don't know this
Your
stuff.
walkie is crackling to
because-
life again. Z-Cell, this is I-Cell, over.
This is Z-Cell.
I
You gotta
thought
say
I
over.
asked you to check in every hour. Z-Cell? It's been an hour 15 minutes.
Fuck, must have burned my watch. What's the fastest? Where do we get a barrel and some cement? Over.
I would think that would be at the Blue Moon Mall, but I think it's closed by now, unfortunately.
We're breaking into the mall.
No. Hey,
It's 8 p.m. on a Sunday.
I was wondering, is 911 still is 911 a thing in the 1990s? I'm pretty
Of
sure
course
it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had that back then.
Sorry, I wasn't aware. Are we allowed to call 911 on ops?
Are you asking Irene?
Yes.
That's a negative. That's a negative.
Exactly, I
Z-Cell.
guess.
That's a big negative. Over.
We called an ambulance last stop when somebody got a
You'll
car
just
accident.
endanger the first responders. It's not a good idea. We don't want to endanger the public, remember?
Public. Plan B. Or Plan C at this point.
Standing by with the device, she says.
What's the fastest way to get a death certificate around here?
That's an excellent question to which I do not have a straightforward answer, but I can research it for you.
Thank you.
Is any agent down? Over?
No, we found a body that won't stay down.
You will
And
hear an audible
chuck her.
sigh of relief from the other end, and then she's gonna register the rest of what you just said. Oh, you found a body that will not stand down.
yeah, we tried a gunshot, and then we tried another gunshot, and then we tried brake fluid and sugar, and yeah. We were hoping to do the barrel and cement trick, but if we have to stay up all night with this thing, yeah.
Surely we can drive around and find a construction site or something. It doesn't have to be like a full oil barrel, but as
That
long as we
is-
can put it in some sort of solid container.
Interesting.
I mean, are we
Not
supposed
what
to be
I
like
expected.
civilians?
Can we? It's up to you if you want to show me the site. I do have the clearance for it, but a body that will not stay down. Interesting. Disturbing, but interesting. She's... Does she seem relieved over this? Like her voice?
Could always be worse. I'm guessing resurrected bodies aren't the weirdest thing y'all have seen. So,
Blair, she
I mean,
seems relieved. Whatever it was she
Oh.
was expecting, it was not a body rising from the dead. It was something worse.
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Interesting. Okay, I'll need to think on this. Because I have been given certain instructions by Alphonse, but I don't know that this will... We should try to solve this problem in situ. I know this is supposed to be a research op, but this is not what I expected at all, so I'm not sure that I can pull the plug on this yet.
we found the supernatural. Doesn't this fulfill what we were here to do?
I definitely hope so, she says.
Great. Can we just go home and leave the body with the next people to get here?
No, that's a terrible idea. We'll have to consult with Alphonse. If this body will not stay down...
Can we, like, I don't know. Maybe we can, like, retrain him to not be violent.
Like a disobedient dog, just put him in a cage, get a squirt bottle.
No.
Yeah.
Also, in addition to the obvious, it appears he has altered skin, and there's some sort of procedure that may have been done invasive, somewhat like a lobotomy. So it's likely that there is still some sort of underlying cause, and this is just a side effect.
Well, that's interesting, Irene says. None of this is what I expected, but that is to be expected when you're an opera fan, isn't it? Operas always take interesting twists and turns that you don't expect. I'm gonna have to consult with Alphonse, unless you want to consult with Alphonse on how to proceed. But the standard operating procedure, at least when I've been on ops, is the cell that is involved on the front line, and again, I'm just here in advisory capacity, so this is your op, deals with the unexpected fallout. So I guess you will have to deal with this body and neutralize it in some fashion. But don't ask me how, because this is not something that I've come across before.
And then, yeah, I think my plan of just like looking for a construction site for those is probably the best way to just neutralize this.
A construction site, as long as it can hold the body, I guess. Bury it deep. Might work. Hoping that nobody will ever break that open in the future. Sounds like a
Be my
temporary
problem.
solution to me.
Yep. Won't be my problem.
But
Might
it
be a
is
green
your
box type
problem because it's
situation.
your op, and you should take steps to neutralize the threat permanently, shouldn't you?
Yeah, like I said, we might have to set up a green box or something so we can just set up like a actual neutralization further on down the road.
That could work. That might work. I'll consult with Agent Alphonse. You keep watch over the body. Unless you want to consult with Alphonse, of course. You're completely within your prerogative to do so.
I feel like you have a context that we're not allowed to, and you might be able to explain a little bit more in depth than we are with our limited scope of understanding.
Fair enough. Don't go anywhere, he says. And that, I think, is where we will pause this up for now. Because, yeah, we have killed an unnatural? Maybe? Have we? We don't
No,
know.
definitely
Hopefully.
not.
We've destroyed... We've made it crispy. That's what we know.
I'm calling it now. This is some Deadpool stuff. Like, the skin's gonna start healing. The limbs are gonna do some Addams Family stuff and start crawling and then reattaching themselves, and he's just gonna run away.
Look, this is a combination of the new Frankenstein, and it's bad.
We'll find out in a week from now, won't we? Thank you for tuning in, everyone. And remember, follow, subscribe, bell icons on YouTube, all the things, so you can get all the latest from A-Cell and follow the action. As Z-Cell wrestles with a body that will not stay dead, apparently. Maybe it is dead now. Maybe fire was the key. You've fought other things that responded quite well to fire and were destroyed. Like, you had your hairspray bottles and your improvised flamethrowers. It worked then. But maybe not now.